Professor Rasul. Thank you so much for joining us for this interview of the Get to Know Your Professor series. So, just to start the interview off, could you give us a short introduction of yourself and tell us what courses you teach?
Thanks, Yash. It's a pleasure to be asked to give this interview. So I'm a professor of economics at UCL. I've been at UCL for over 15 years now, and I currently teach graduate development economics, and that's a subject where a lot of my research is focused on.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And now, talking about economics generally, how exactly did you get into economics?
Well, when I was a teenager, I had a love of history, politics, and mathematics. And in my school, for A levels, it wasn't possible to take an A level just in politics alone. It had to be combined with economics, essentially as two half units. And so I was essentially started studying economics because of politics. And so that's really how things began. And then while studying that course, it slowly dawned on me that economics was kind of vital to understand many political events. Many important events in history were driven by economic concerns. And then I guess the real sort of final element that really got me hooked was that it was the application of mathematics I was really looking for. And so all of those things came together that really made me want to study economics more and more, and that's why I decided to study it at university. I think there's this, it's a good example of this quote that I think is fairly, it's unknown who originally said this quote, but it's something like, if you're interested in history, then you should study history. If you're interested in politics, you should study politics. If you're interested in maths, you should study maths, but if you're interested in all of these, then you should study economics.
Economics, yeah. So moving on to the next question, could you show us a favorite book, an inspirational picture, or a note you hang in your office? Something we can just get to know you from and learn about.
Okay, so I chose something that's not from my office. It's from a room that I have at home, and so I see this every day. And I should say that I'm on holiday right now, but I brought it with me. And so my wife was horrified when she saw this picture lying around. She thought maybe we decided to rent this place because it had this picture. But I'm a big cricket fan, and so as a child, sort of I had the great team of the time in the early 80s was the West Indies team, and they were led by Viv Richards. So Viv Richards was really my hero when I was growing up. I wanted to play cricket like him. I thought he was a great athlete, a great inspiration. He was always winning, and so I decided, as an inspiration to me, to get a photo of his, and I put it up in this room. And I remember trying to search for all the different photos of him, and there will be some of him playing a great memorable innings, some of him just showing sort of how he interacted with his team. But whenever I saw these pictures of him actually playing, none of them were like 100%. Capturing all the elements that made him such a great player. You can have that one snapshot. So I decided to give up looking for a picture of him playing cricket. And so I found this picture of him just, I think, after he retired. I don't know whether you can see this if I show this up.
Oh yeah, just a little higher maybe, yeah. Oh wow, okay, yeah.
And so that's just him after he's retired. And for me, that's like the perfect picture of him. You can't capture how brilliant he was on the pitch. But here he's clearly looking very relaxed and happy,
Yeah.
and just kind of emphasizes that you have many different aspects to you, and so he's a well-rounded sort of person, I think, and I think it was very inspirational thinking about him and all that he achieved, and the pride that he did it with.
Thank you so much for that, Professor. And yes, cricket, I mean, from anyone coming from Pakistan or India, myself, we know how much of a cricket fanatic individuals can get from those countries. And for the last question, and this is sort of a general question, which is that, do you have any advice you may want to give to the incoming or prospective students to UCL?
So it's always been the advice I've given my students, and I've always given myself, that fundamentally we're very fortunate to be in the situation that we are in, being able to go to university, to learn and to experience and be influenced by many, many great, incredible, sort of impressive people. So to get the most out of that, I think you always need to follow your own interests and you follow your own instincts. Don't try to second guess what other people would like, what employers might like. It's a unique opportunity just to stimulate yourself and just follow your curiosity, and who knows where that's going to lead. I mean, life is not some kind of dress rehearsal where you can keep practicing these things, and you just have one shot at things. Just do what brings you the happiness and enjoyment at the time, and then it will be interesting for others as well. I mean, throughout my career, I've had a lot of people take a chance on me when what I was doing wasn't entirely conventional. I wasn't following the normal path, do things differently at all. I've done things in a very kind of or something that kept me motivated, and maybe work on things that I was really interested in. And so that's often reflected a lot of the time when my graduate students come to me with a new idea, and they'll tell me the details of the idea, and then a lot of the time they ask me, well, is this interesting? And I'm always surprised when people ask me that. Anything and everything is interesting, and there's no better way to get interested in something when you hear somebody else describe it in a very passionate way, and they're very much interested in it. They really care about the answer. That's the best way to generate enthusiasm amongst other people. So that would be my overarching advice: just come, enjoy it, and do what you really want to do. Follow your own instincts and interests, and that will make it really, really worthwhile.
Yeah.